Is Tesla really asking for cash back from their suppliers? I know I covered this story yesterday, but it kind of keeps going, and I have a feeling that we need to kind of have another take at this and nip it in the bud, because I think this is a bit silly. Also, a couple of other news coming out of Tesla, and of course, your comment of the day. So let's get going right now.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, electric.
Welcome to the show. If you are for the first time you're watching the show, welcome to the channel. If you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you don't miss anything moving forward. Of course, thank you if you're watching me live on Patreon right now. I'm going to do a bit of an after show once I'm done recording here for YouTube. I don't know why I'm lost for words today, but I wanted to cover the story that is actually, I covered yesterday. It's about, I guess the story broke, 2-3 days ago, that Tesla is asking for some cash back from, I believe, a dozen of suppliers. And everybody freaked out, saying, oh my God, they're so strapped for cash. They like asking their suppliers for a handout. And, Elon did put out this tweet yesterday, but I just didn't think that he do a good job on this, because he basically said that whatever cash they're going to be getting is not going to be applied to the Q3 sort of data, and therefore they're not doing that to boost their profits, and that's granted, that's great, but I don't think he explained very well. He kind of let the whole article that was originally posted about it go, because here's the thing, and I know Tesla released a statement today, which, by the way, is the best way of fighting this. Have a Tesla as an organization, have the PR department. Apparently, they were, somebody woke them up yesterday. Write something up and put out as a press release or a statement. That's great. That's perfect. Elon does not need to do all of this by himself with a limitation of whatever 240 characters or something like that. Anyway, so they explain this. This does make sense, and I think I mentioned it a little bit yesterday. Listen, here's the deal. Apparently, the suppliers, there's about 10 of them. The deals that are in place with them were since 2016, and all of them are ongoing deals. And here's what happens with that, and it happens all the time. Tesla might have ordered a part and a certain number of them back in 2016, and then upgraded that part, which they do all the time, which is kind of my problem with Tesla, but they do improve a lot of their parts. Well, my problem is not that they improve them. My point is that they put them in the parts that need to be improved only within half a year to a year from them. Completely different topic. All right, so they and then let's say they improve the part to a point where it's simpler, or you can make them at a cheaper price, at a cheaper cost, because they simplified it, or in general the cost of raw materials for that part went down, or they ordered more than they originally asked for, right? So all of that actually can change the contract and the numbers that they're talking about, right? I mean, if the part is being made cheaper now, why would they be paying the price that they originally paid for a more expensive part? So, and all of that is part of contracts. And I mean, I haven't seen their contracts with suppliers, but this is all day-to-day business normal stuff. So yeah, if obviously they're reviewing a lot of this stuff now because they want to kind of tighten their budgets up. They just had a layoff of a middle management, and that was another way to kind of save cash. But you can't have it both ways. You really can't have it both ways and say, okay, this company is in trouble and they're spending then, like drunken sailors, and then get on their butts for actually trying to save up money and cut the costs. You can't have it both ways. They're cutting costs. That's great. This is a very normal, standard way of cutting costs. So what's the problem? Again, I wish Elon would have explained a little bit better with his tweet, but the statement that they put out today is perfectly fine, explains everything. I hope people get off of their butts. Trust me, there are other issues you can get on their butts for. They're more legit than this one. So we'll see. You know what I mean? They're just about, I think, to do the earnings call very soon about the Q2. I'm sure they're going to talk about it all and give us all a better explanation. Though this explanation to me is good enough. All right, before I move on to another story about Tesla, well, actually two of them are about Tesla. Let me remind you that this show and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. So go ahead and grab a discount code that is in the description of this video in case if you want to save yourselves a few bucks. All right, Another person leaving Tesla, and this time it's a big guy, Ganesh Srivats. He was a VP of sales for Tesla. I know we had a lot of executives kind of move on from Tesla this year, and maybe it has something to do with Elon being a little bit more stressed out and being more difficult to deal with. I've heard a lot of rumors about that, but I don't think this one is about that. This guy came from Burberry, which is a fashion brand, which kind of, by the way, I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting that Tesla hired someone from a European fashion brand. And he is now going to be a CEO of one of the first online high fashion retailers. I think it's a new business, or at least they're definitely revamping it. I think it's a new one. So it's a great opportunity for him. Obviously, his heart was in fashion before he was at Tesla, and now he is. He's going to be probably doing what he really loves again. And this is not a big move. It doesn't seem like he's leaving Tesla. It just seems like he's joining another company. That's why he decided to change jobs. I literally got this screenshot about an hour before going live with you guys. Still says vice president of Tesla. By the way, what does vice president of sales at Tesla does? Can somebody explain it to me? I mean, does he just like count cash? Because I would like to apply for the job next, since there's a vacancy. Because I mean, what I'm gonna do? Hey, the showroom is over there, and leave your money at that bucket at the door. Thank you. Come again. It's got to be that simple. Why even bother? I mean, this company does not have a problem selling cars. Nevertheless, we'll see who's going to be the next guy. Maybe not. This guy did take more responsibility from, I think, I forgot, there was another position that kind of got freed up, and they just gave him all of these responsibilities. He was in charge of Tesla.com and merchandising and other services. So we'll see if he'll be missed, and we'll see if he'll be replaced. But for now, he's gone as a VP of sales. All right, let's move on to the next story. And people are freaking out about this one. Everybody loves the white interior for Tesla, and they were only making it for, and just only started to make it for, the performance version of the Model 3. And today they announced they're going to actually expand that option as an availability for, as an option for all-wheel drive. So the long range all-wheel drive and performance, you can get that. People absolutely love it. It's snow white, but it doesn't, if you spill on it, it doesn't stain. But I gotta tell you, if you guys seen a Tesla with a white interior after like a year or two, it does get dirty. It may not get stained, but it does get dirty, and you kind of have to clean it regularly to prevent that. And every tiny little speckle of dirt does make the car look really dirty right away. So it's really nice to look at the showroom floor. But I would not, suggest that you get it, because it is a really high maintenance, just like with anything white, right? I mean, tiny little dot and boom, it's dirty, right? The whole thing is dirty. It is vegan, by the way, and it is at an extra $1,500 charge. So that's, for those of you guys who still want to get it, you can get it if you're getting a performance or all-wheel drive Model 3. All right, let me remind you that this Saturday I am doing actually a follow-up interview with the owner of this house, one of the very first houses to get a Tesla solar roof. We're going to be answering some of the questions that you submitted to the original video, over 1,000 comments. So we're going to answer some questions about the pricing and costs and some of the output. And tomorrow I'm just going to post a video about generally whether or not you should get yourselves solar panels in general, and what are the pros and cons. So check that out. Now I'm gonna go with a comment of the day in just a second. Reminder for those who are watching me on Patreon, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit afterwards, and mainly about my decision to get a Chevy Volt. I got some comments about it that I just kind of wanted to talk and share it with my Patreon. So just make sure to stay right after I sort of do my final spiel here. But for now, let me move on to the comment of the day. And the comment of the day was really about that, as you guys probably know. If not, right now I have 2 Teslas. I'm replacing one of them with Chevy Volt. I haven't sold my Tesla yet, or I'm just going to return it back to the leasing bank. But I am already bought my Volt. It is right here. And we were discussing about why I wasn't getting a Model 3. Now, so let me just bring up the comment of the day comment here. And it's very simple. It's from Gabriel Vargas. He says, no Model 3 for you. Why? Well, okay, first of all, the reason I'm getting the Volt is because I wanted to make sure that I don't have to use superchargers, because when I'll be going back from my new home in Sacramento to the Bay Area to visit or, you know, take trips, I just can't, I'm sorry, I just can't be bothered with 45-minute supercharging to make a 2-hour trip. That's just, you know, especially if I'll be making those trips in just one day. And it's like just the other day I didn't get home till 4 o'clock. Like 3 was okay because that's where I go to sleep usually, but 4 was really pushing it, and it was kind of driving the car. I was already kind of sleepy. So, you know, that and not having to charge for 45 minutes would have prevented that. Now the reason, so I need a plug-in hybrid. I also like to have a plug-in hybrid just because a lot of you in my audience, I'm realizing this is what you guys have right now as sort of a next step, as a step next to the getting an all-electric car, getting used to it, and also not having to worry about range anxiety and the cost, of course, right? So I'm glad I'm kind of experiencing this, and I like the way this car looks, and I like the way it drives. So and the fact that you guys are saying that, well, you know what, that's a Patreon issue. Let me explain about the Model 3. You know, first of all, yeah, I don't want to drive Model 3 right now because that Model 3 is not going to solve my problem with supercharging, because I'll still have to supercharge it on the long trips. So just for that reason, I'm not going to buy a Model 3 instead of Chevy Volt. Secondly, I am not going to buy a Model 3 for freaking $60,000 or $70,000. I don't think it's worth it. The features that they have for extra money, in no way worth it to me. I don't want an all-wheel drive because it doesn't extend the range. The only reason I bought my 70D is because it extended the range. It doesn't extend the range. Actually, it makes it shorter in the Model 3 case. And also, I don't need a performance package. Really, seriously, I really don't. My lowest, weakest motor in my 60 is more than plenty for me. So if I'm going to get a Model 3, it's going to be their basic $35,000 version, which I believe has everything and is the best bang for its buck. But at the same time, listen, for as long as I can afford the best car in the world, I'm going to get the best car in the world. I'm sorry. I think that's just not, I think it's just human. A Model S, I believe, is the best car in the world. And by the way, why wouldn't you want me to drive a Tesla, especially Tesla Model S? If I'm talking about this car almost every day, don't you want the host of this show to kind of experience it? So if anything, this is only adding to, I think, my value to you guys is having a plug-in hybrid, having the best electric car in the world. That way I can speak from experience rather than, you know, like some YouTubers who don't even have a Tesla and they've been talking about Tesla for years or just recently got one. So I think it's to everyone's advantage. But yeah, and, you know, Model 3 is nowhere near as good of a car as a Model S, I believe. And so therefore, I'm kind of out on that one. I might still get a $35,000 version. Maybe, but we'll see. I'm just not that excited about the Model 3. I think it's going to revolutionize the whole industry, and I think it's the best car for its money, especially when they're going to have the $35,000 version, but it's just not for me, for my particular situation. All right, so I hope that clears it up. I'm sure there will be more comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer those, of course. Now, for those of you who are watching me on Patreon, stay a little bit after if you want to. I'll have a few things I wanted to share with you guys. But other than that, see you guys tomorrow. And of course, remember to stay charged.